Hello everybody and welcome to Nerd Incognito. You are seeing the first video I will be posting to the Nerd Incognito YouTube page, and I will be featuring this evening Mechwarrior Online. So I don't have a ton of time to game. I am a father, I have a couple kids to worry about, a full-time job, and trying to write the third book in a trilogy. So my spare time is a little bit limited. But when I do game, I tend to prefer games that I can either save whenever I want to save them, or that only have very small chunks of time that I have to absolutely dedicate to them when I fire it up. So the nice thing about Mechwarrior Online is each game lasts only about 10 minutes or less, depending what's going on, and yeah, you can kind of get in and out of there, do some damage, and get back out. So I don't have a long history of shooter games. I tend to prefer RPGs, but I did take up a buddy's challenge when he started playing this early 2016, and I've been playing it off and on since. I started with a stable of heavies, beginning with a Timberwolf. This fella here named Boomstick was arguably my first. It'd be him or Chop Timber, I can't tell you which one. But what I did find, as much as I loved playing them, and I really did, is eventually the same mech over and over gets a little bit boring. So from there I branched out a little bit, ran some assaults, and I do love some of my assaults as well, particularly my Marauder 2Cs. But it is really nice sometimes to just have less people targeting you on the battlefield, and the mech that I'm bringing you this evening is the one of the ones that I've chosen to help me do that. This is the Nova, specifically the Nova Prime chassis, although it is a clan Omnimech, which means that you can switch out the individual pods on it. And I do have a couple switched out pods, but we'll get to that in a second. What do I like about this mech? Well, you'll see in terms of stature, it is a fair amount shorter and more compact than something like my Timberwolf would be. It tends to get ignored a little bit on the battlefield because of that. But at the same time, its particular loadout allows it to do a great deal of damage in a fairly short amount of time. Certainly not the kind of alpha that you get out of a Timberwolf, but impressive nonetheless. So let's pop into the mech lab briefly, and I'll show you what the loadout is. We're running 6 ER small lasers in each of the arms, and then 4 machine guns, 2 in each of the torsos, and you'll see I have swapped to the Nova S torso to make that possible. And there is a targeting computer Mark 1 in the middle. So the general idea here is you are firing in batches, one side at a time, and then finishing up with the machine guns because they have a much higher critical chance than most of the other weapons in the game. The targeting computer Mark 1 is just a nice thing to stick in there. I was kind of running out of slots, as you can see. It does boost the beam range for my lasers a little bit and improves the critical chance, and that's always a nice thing. So I do have one of those as well. Popping over modules, this is the only Nova that I own, so of course it is not mastered. And I've been kind of slow to buy modules. They are quite expensive, and I am mostly a free-to-play player. I haven't spent a lot of money on MC, the in-game currency, yet. So I am running a radar deprivation module, which very much helps you get out of the way of lerms. They'll lose their locks on you. You can just sidestep. And then I did get the clan ER small laser range booster to give me just that little bit extra when I need it. They are a pretty short-range weapon. Cool Shot 6, which I do use on occasion. Most of the time I don't overheat, but you'll see in the games to come I do it at least once. And a UAV, because it's always nice to have that extra information when you're out on the battlefield. So you see, as I said, the lasers are all clustered around each arm. That's also how I have my weapon groupings done. My left mouse button controls all of the lasers on my left-hand side. Right mouse button controls all the lasers on my right-hand side. There are no high-mounted weapons on this particular mech, so the hill humping is not very good, but it's a pretty good side peeker for the most part. And these, of course, are the machine guns in the torso. And you're probably not going to want to use those very often, except near the ends of matches or when people have had most of their armor chewed away, and there's a really good chance to get those criticals that you're looking for. So what else can I tell you? I think it's a pretty mech. You'll see the virus pattern on it with a couple various shades of green, the Broken Heart decal from the Valentine's Day event, and without further ado, let's pop into a match.
Sensors online.
Okay, here we are
Weapons
dropping into
online.
Crimson Strait. Seems like this map
All
has
systems nominal.
become a new favorite again. I hardly played on it at all for the longest time, and now it seems almost every second match is either this one or HPG Manifold.
Hello.
Hello. I do want to encourage all of you that may be new to MWO, do talk on your comms, even if it's just to say hello. It's nice for everybody to know that you have a microphone and might actually say something on occasion.
You're assaulting the middle lance.
So, one of the major differences I found between playing my heavies and my assaults and playing my Nova here is whereas it goes about the same speed as my Timberwolf did without speed tweak.
Target acquired.
I don't have the kind of alpha damage
Build.
to get myself out of really poor positions, so I do have to be a lot more careful to stick with the group. That's not a bad thing. I had some bad habits in my Timberwolf
New
that I
target
needed to overcome.
acquired.
I'm slowly getting
Not
over
everybody
them,
chase them.
but it has not been easy. Now it looks like they're gonna come over the saddle here.
New target
They're
acquired.
all at the settle. All at the settle.
I don't want to be on the front line here,
New target acquired.
but I will stand by to offer support where I can.
Target destroyed.
Now, of course, with nothing but ER smalls, even though I am carrying the ER
Target
range module
acquired.
that does extend my range a little bit,
Echo.
I'm working with some pretty limited
New
range here,
target
so
acquired.
I'm a knife fighter. I need them to be very
Yeah,
close
even
to me. I am going to go up here a little bit.
Stormkiller back in.
There's a Battle Master up here, and there's a
Stormkiller
Supernova
in the
coming
way.
up as well, so once that airstrike is done, I might come up a little bit to support when and where I can, hoping that they target the Supernova instead
New
of me.
target acquired.
There's a Shadow Cat getting a little bit cheeky over there, but I'll have to wait for him to pop up. I did,
New target
this mech
acquired.
does have some jump jets on it, which is
New
handy for
target
mobility.
acquired.
I don't do a lot of pop-tarting, obviously,
Target
with
destroyed.
ER medium lasers.
Sure,
but
light's not a good idea to play in front of an assault.
Man, we don't have enough. It's just two of us peeking, but no one else doing anything.
JT Toker, you're asking for BB shots in the back if you keep doing that.
So at this point, we're not really doing much of anything except waiting. I see that Kodiak 4 has gone up. We
Somebody
Target
behind us.
acquired.
do have someone coming up from
New
behind here and
target
underneath.
acquired.
Fairly ballsy little bushwhacker. I wonder if he's the only one down there.
Careful for a push.
We're going to go down and offer a little bit of support down here, where we might actually be able to do something useful.
Keep an eye on the saddle.
Try not to shoot our friends in the back.
Target destroyed.
He's down. Okay. The sound you hear is I am using the Cameron Star Warhorn. This is possibly my favorite Warhorn, I think. I don't have a lot of them, but of the ones I do
Target
have,
acquired.
I really like the sound. So we're going to come back up here, try and get into a position where I might be able to support a little bit. I feel like there's a lot I can do. I get some
New
clear
target
shots here,
acquired.
but
Push, push, push.
We are 6-0, guys. 8-0, pardon me. Let's go over this hill.
Push, push.
Few hostiles are remaining. Crush the cowards.
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
Okay, it looks like we've only got 2 left. I'm guessing they are lights, and quite potentially flanking us.
Last two were city. One was 5, and the other was like 4. That was like 30 seconds ago.
Something shooting from Echo 5.
Affirmative. Need assistance.
Okay, now. Trouble is
Affirmative.
you're trying to mop, you still need to find them, so I'm gonna try to come around the back here and pincher them if they're fooling around in Echo 5.
No, Delta 5. Marauder. Marauder 2C, I think.
Nice.
Target
Okay.
acquired.
So that's where Charlie's hiding. We will probably not get there in time going around, so I'm going to go through. We might not get there in time anyway. We have a lot of our team that has ended up over there. And it looks like he's getting caught up
Target
pretty fast.
destroyed.
So we have
Thanks.
one more.
Last one was like C5-ish. Dead PPCs, I think.
Yeah, I think that was a Marauder, actually.
And there's something else, like Brandy's.
Really don't know where it is, honestly. Okay, he's not AFK.
So this is one of the things I find most obnoxious about MWO is you will occasionally get somebody who for whatever reason decides that they're just going to hide instead of come out and fight when they're the last guy standing. I have no problem with people that are actually fighting, doing some damage, doing some work, and trying to pick people off. But if you're just being a dick and making the other team wander around looking for you, and I have even seen people do this when they've powered down, then you should be truly ashamed of yourself.
Really?
There's
Oh.
a metal cat.
Yeah. Yeah, right there.
And on top
Oh, there.
Ooh, and I am nowhere near.
Target
Okay,
acquired.
so maybe this fellow was actually doing something. Looks like he has a Gauss rifle.
Negative.
So he may have been just sitting outside there to snipe, but he's finished now. So
Target destroyed.
we're done.
Bask in the glory of your triumph.
Well, 12-0, we certainly won. It is not my favorite kind of game. I would have liked to get in there and have the brawl get a little bit uglier. You can see not a lot of damage. I did get some team damage when someone was a little bit too close to my right arm when I was firing my lasers as we were heading up that hill. So 1 killing blow, 2 kill assists, and 1 kill, most damage dealt. I do not generally run with premium time, so not a ton of money coming in per match, but yeah, a good match overall, or at least not a bad one. And let's go to the second match. Okay, so here we are. We're
Weapons
dropping
online.
into Canyon Network for our second match.
All systems
Neither
nominal.
Canyon Network nor Crimson Strait are really what I would call ideal for this particular mech. There's a lot of ground there's a lot of long-range sniping that goes on, and with an optimal range of 228 meters, it's sometimes a little bit hard to get in nice and close the way that I need to really output damage. So once again, working on staying with the team here. I will go keep the assaults company probably.
And we're heavy
What's going on?
Yes, sir.
I already see some fire
Target
coming
acquired.
in. Looks like some
New target
very long range
acquired.
stuff. There's PPC sniping Blackjack. We're gonna try and stay out of his face. I do see a light in there harassing our assaults a bit. Looks like they're chasing him
New
back.
target acquired.
And that is definitely the kind of thing I could help out with. So I may wander up here. We do have a couple of assaults that are coming over here on the left-hand side. It's a little worrisome.
New target
I don't want them to end
acquired.
up on their own.
Fuel at 25%.
It looks like this light
New
is working.
target
That cheetah
acquired.
is working as a spotter.
Warning, incoming missile.
Yeah, and there's a UAV up there as well.
Warning,
That
incoming
might be our
missile.
UAV though. So I'm just going to drop down behind cover. I don't really want to waste my armor on
There we go.
early LRMs and exposing myself to a lot of that damage. You do see some of our team up there getting beat up a little bit. And there's really nothing I can do effectively at this range, though they are starting to close
Sounds
in.
awesome.
New
Thank
target
you.
acquired. New target
Yeah,
acquired.
this is the range I want to play in, so I'm gonna pop back up here. And I'm gonna pop a UAV as well,
UAV activated.
so we can see what exactly is going on. Hopefully it stays up for a little bit.
New target
There, I think
acquired.
that's that Blackjack again, yeah. See, I'd really like to go after that Hellbringer right now, but I'm a little bit worried about having that Blackjack dig in on me.
New target
There is
acquired.
a Warhammer
Warning,
as well.
incoming missile.
We're going to pull back behind the mountain there to avoid some of the missiles. We're going to come
Target
around the other
destroyed.
side.
Very nice.
Looks like that
Target
Hellbringer's pushing
acquired.
in, so
Who even got that kill? I didn't see that.
there's that long range again. That is just so killer for me on this map.
New target acquired.
Now we are 1-0, so we're doing all right so far, but
Anybody
I don't
got a drone?
feel like
Warning,
the team is
incoming
really,
missile.
we're not doing a lot. Thankfully, neither are they. You might have seen those lerms exploding in the air, hitting their maximum
target
range before
acquired.
they even got to me. So they are firing them without being particularly close in.
New target
And here comes a
acquired.
direwolf coming up out of that canyon. If he's not too well covered, I would like to get some shots in on him. Or his buddy here,
New
the
target
Atlas.
acquired.
Anybody want to make a push and drop down on top of them?
I'll come with you.
Got your support.
Let's go.
Watch the Mad 2C coming up.
New target
Get off on
acquired.
your primary target.
Target destroyed.
Forces at 75%.
There goes that Mad 2C.
New target
You do have to watch that
acquired.
Huntsman. There's the Mauler.
New
Go,
target
go,
acquired.
go.
Target
Goes
destroyed.
down.
Come on, sprint over
New
here.
target
Leading
acquired.
the charge. Leading charge. Come.
Okay, and it looks like a lot of them are coming up over
No, no.
there. So
New target
we are going
acquired.
to swing back around and go after that direwolf again.
Julian.
New target acquired.
That is our UAV that's
Target destroyed.
Delta, Delta,
Shit,
Delta.
shit, shit.
New target acquired. New target acquired.
Need some help, guys.
The enemy has
I'm behind
started to
you.
chip away at us.
Heat level
is possible to overheat in this, sadly. This is trying to do a little bit too much. And now I've got that Marauder 2C awfully mad at me. The Scorch is nothing to quibble at, although that is not the loadout I would have put on a Scorch. Ideally, I would like to run the Scorch with SRMs.
Target destroyed.
There we go. And we got the kill. That's nice. I put a lot of damage in him.
Good job. You get a medal.
Yay me.
So let's take a look at the end screen here. 462, not bad for damage. 2 kill most damage dealt, 1 solo kill, and 5 kill assists. 183 C-bills, keeping in mind I do not generally run premium times, so I don't get a huge amount of C-bills out of most of my matches. How did we stack up for damage? Well, we stacked up well in our lance, and we held our own with the other lances. That one Mad 2C seems to have done a great job. Good for him. Good job, Kiko Jones. All up a good match on that one. So I just wanted to bring you back to the Mech Lab for a few final parting thoughts. There are a lot of roles that you can play in Mechwarrior Online. I have been the Timberwolf with the massive alpha damage who is doing his very best to shove an LBX-20 up your nose. I have been an assault, hurtling UACs at my enemies, or occasionally even Lerms, I must admit, at my enemies from farther away. I have been the light running around the battlefield spotting, but I have really enjoyed my time with the Nova as a medium, working with the team, amplifying damage, calling shots, and I definitely encourage you to give it a try. It's a great little mech. I would also like to encourage you to visit my website, www.nerdincognito.com. It's been up for a few years now. There's a lot of information in the blog, ranging from so many different topics, from books to video games to movies to all the things that I've learned in my first few years here as a dad. So there's plenty to read there, and if you follow the links at the very top of that page, you'll even see the terrible, ugly, original HTML website that I created for Nerd Incognito. So there's some stuff to laugh at, if that helps at all. I would encourage you certainly to like this video, leave a comment. I'd love to engage with any of you. Or visit me on Facebook, facebook.com/thenerdincognito. Comment there, follow me. I do put up links from all sorts of interesting stuff up there as well, so I'd definitely love to hear from any and all of you. So until next time, take care, and we'll see you for the next video.